Hi, and welcome in. So, today I just wanted to talk to you about myrrh. So, let's just get right into it. In the book of Esther, the women spent 12 months getting beauty treatments before being taken to the king's bed. And half of the time, that is 6 months, was with the oil of myrrh. Now, myrrh is a resin that resembles like little golden nuggets or golden raisins to me. And the resin comes from the Commiphora Myrrh tree. And the resin is essentially the tree's immune system, or some say its tears. Now, when the tree is cut, it cries naturally, right? That's the resin. Myrrh can also be extracted in oil to make oil of myrrh. And so, myrrh is very volatile, highly scented, and therefore it was used in antiquity in perfumery, which, by the way, is an art. And myrrh smells so good that it is not only a key ingredient in the oil of gladness referenced in Psalm 45, holy oil, but the Egyptians used it in their embalming practices, as you can imagine, in part to hide that smell. But myrrh is an antimicrobial, so that is another reason for its use there. And ultimately, as an antimicrobial, it helped in the case of the embalming practices of the Egyptians to prevent or slow decay. And in fact, myrrh can be used to slow the progression, while we're on this topic, of dental cavities for this same reason, its antimicrobial properties. And myrrh actually has a rather masculine smell, in my opinion. It smells like men's cologne. So it comes from a tree, so naturally it smells woody. It smells also earthy, sweet, spicy, and perhaps alluring or seductive. And so, of course, the women, in the case of the book of Esther, would want to spend 6 months of beautifying with it in order to win over the king. Now, the book of Esther takes place in the Persian Empire under the rule of King Xerxes the First, who reigned from 486 to 465 BC. And I was reading an article on mindbodygreen.com written by Siva Rose. I believe that's how you say her name. And she identifies herself as being half Iranian. And by the way, modern day Iran would have been part of the Persian Empire. And so in the article that she wrote, she talks about some of the ancient Persian beauty secrets. And she speaks of things like weekly exfoliation rituals that they did that were and are absolutely mandatory, stating that this is important in order to release, build up, and allow for new energy. And in the article, she also talks about using rose water topically, but also drinking rose water. And so, as you can see just from that little tidbit, beauty treatments were and are cultural, and I'll link that article also in the description if you want to check it out. But beauty is also valued biblically, contrary to popular belief. Don't mistake not having your soul identity rest in how you look outwardly while neglecting inward beauty, with the idea that the Most High does not value beauty and beautiful things, because He most certainly does. I mean, how many times have you read that He enjoys a sweet smelling fragrance, for instance? And essentially, that's Him giving His creation back to Him, or us giving His creation back to Him. The best parts of the animal, for instance, the fatty parts, and also the best aspects of herbs, in part their fragrance. I mean, obviously, their medicinal aspects are important, but the Most High doesn't need that. And He reserves that part for us. But nevertheless, smelling nice is part of the beautifying process. And another thing that myrrh does is that it likes to remove toxic accumulations, also known as scraping waste in Ayurvedic medicine, and therefore has been used to treat endometriosis and PCOS as a result. And by the way, scraping waste, as it is known, is a drying action. And it should be noted that the energetics of myrrh are that it is warming, it is tonifying, and it is drying. So, myrrh is great for inflammation and infections, including on the skin. So, think acne and any other wounds, things like that. So, aside from helping the women to smell good, which it would most definitely do, myrrh also had and has the ability to take care of any skin issues and any skin issues that these women would have had. And since they were being presented to a king, they absolutely had to look and smell their best. And there have also been studies, just to make a point about its use for acne. There have been studies that suggest that myrrh is a good alternative acne treatment to use instead of antibiotics for acne. And basically, that's all I have for you today on myrrh. This is a wonderful herb, and I can go on. I certainly didn't get to everything, but like I said, this is a highly valued herb. It was very valued in antiquity, in the biblical times, and multiple different countries. It smells nice and it's medicinally useful, so you can definitely understand why. But if you found this video useful and want more herbal wisdom, wellness tips, and poetic spiritual insight, please subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.